Good morning, good morning, good morning. How is everybody doing?
Good morning.
You see,
Good morning.
we are out of town. Or maybe we're in front of a green screen. You just never
You
know.
never know with us.
You just never know where we are and what's going on. But it is. Mhm.
All right, let's hear from yourself.
She's complaining already. It is Monday morning, and we got Monday morning mindset popping off. So thank you all for joining in one of our last
Wow. Can you imagine?
Monday morning mindsets
Can't
for
even
the
say it
year.
right.
It don't seem right. It does not
It's
seem
incredible how fast the year
right.
has just flown by, and
This year is
it's in the
flying.
books.
Yeah.
It's pretty much in the books.
It's a wrap. Is it a wrap? Is it already over? I mean, for some of you, it's not already over
No.
because you're trying to finish out strong.
You got to finish out strong. Do all that you can to finish out super strong.
Yeah. So for some, it's not over. We've kind of flying solo today.
I
We
know.
got Libby out on her
I
honeymoon.
miss my Libs. Y'all, she was such a beautiful bride. Such an
She was
amazing,
out
beautiful
on
bride.
honeymoon.
Yeah, she deserves it.
Right. And then Cassie got a little one sick.
Oh no.
So she's gonna try to jump on, but she's
Mhm,
out.
mhm.
We got several people just it's that time of year.
It is.
So I hope you got your flu shots if you in the flu shot taking.
You didn't get your flu shot. Everybody else had.
I was talking to them though.
Okay.
I wasn't talking to me. I was talking to them. So you don't have to put all my medical business. Where's HIPAA? What is going
I need to
on?
hear somebody. Can somebody just say hello? Because is our volume up?
They
I
already
feel
gave
like
us the thumbs up.
who? I don't even see anybody. It's
Several
kind of
people
weird.
because you was complaining
No, I
about not
asked you to
seeing
put it
nobody.
Good morning, Tanika.
And how are you? Thank you.
All the
There they
complaints
go.
we got going this morning. We was complaining, just complaining this morning. Then she's like, I don't see
I
nobody.
don't see nobody.
Because you was
I
doing
miss
all
my
that
peeps.
complaining this morning.
Good morning, you guys.
See, there
Hey,
you go.
Berkita. See, look at
How are
that.
you guys doing?
Good. How are you? I like
Good.
people. It's good to,
You know, this is going out across the world.
Well,
This is
hello to the world as
this
well.
is an international Monday morning mindset. You try to say hi to everybody. If you get a language you can't speak, then don't say nothing.
See, that's about all I got.
Hola. That's all you're gonna be able to work with this morning.
Yep.
Woo, these people are jumping in. So again, we're gonna get started here. Matter of fact, it's 9:37. Let's get rolling, and then we will pick up the conversation from there. So every Monday morning mindset, we always open up in prayer. We like to say you do not have to be a Christian to be connected to us, but please do not be offended. We will not hide our faith. We like to recognize where our blessings come from. And we start out our Monday morning mindset in prayer. Heavenly Father, thank you for your grace and your goodness. Thank you for your hand of protection that continues to hold us and to guide us. We thank you for the words of wisdom that you pour into us. Allow us to be a blessing to someone else today. Allow us to share joy, peace, and love. Continue to guide us in the ways that we need to go. Guide our business so that we can grow into the companies that you desire us to be. And let your will be done in all areas of our lives. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen. You know, this is I'm not even sure where I need to start. I'm wearing so many hats today.
Okay, well, let's do
I'm producing. I'm letting people in.
I know it's a lot on your
We
plate
work at
today.
camera angles. There's a lot of different things happening.
That's just like these business owners are doing it all. So what are you complaining about?
I'm not complaining. A little bit I'm complaining.
I mean, it's that ooh.
a little bit I'm complaining. I got a small little teensy bit complaint is going on.
I'm co-captain out. What you need from me?
You here in the desk. She's like the chief anchor that shows up after all the work's been done. We didn't check the cameras. We done the mics. We done all that. Then the chief anchor show up talking about what we doing.
What we doing?
We ain't doing nothing. It's already been done.
I like it.
But it's all good. It is all good. We're going to talk a little bit of NAR today. We're going to talk a little bit of NAR because all the sprinklings of voices are out there and everybody's giving their opinion.
Yeah.
And so we're going to have a little conversation about NAR. But before we do that, we want to give you a save the date.
Ooh.
We want to give
Everyone
you
get your
a
calendars out. Save the date.
Save
Put it on your
the
calendar right
date.
now.
You know, if Libby was here, I'd have all my graphics.
Yeah,
and
but she's
There's
not.
just popping out. Yeah,
Mhm.
there's just everything. But
Mhm.
anyway,
Yeah.
save the date, March 22nd.
Ooh, what day is that?
March
Is that a Friday?
22nd. That is a Friday.
March the 20th. Let me get my calendar.
March the 22nd. Save the date for the Summit and Awards Banquet.
Oh, so excited.
Oh, this is going to be an amazing one.
Yeah.
I was looking at some of the data.
Okay.
And a day before Tiki's birthday.
All right, Tiki.
I was looking at some of the data, and this brokerage has done more deals than prior year.
That's amazing.
Everybody's talking about the market and the challenges, and yes, the market is real, right? There are challenges, of course, but when you all hear these numbers,
it's incredible
of the growth in not only unit but production that has been done, which means there's a lot of y'all getting awards, getting recognized.
I love giving out awards.
I love recognition. I don't know about y'all. Corporate America, I was looking
forward to
I planned out when I would go to these awards banks, because we had to, whether you get an award or not, you know, if you want to keep your job, basically you showed up. And I would I would be writing down what I was going to shoot for the prior year. Like, oh, that Joker got that? Okay, cool. It's on now, right? So come out, save the date. We're going to be in Grand Prairie.
Yeah.
The brand new convention center around some great events. What's called the Epic?
The Epic. You know, you guys know the Epic, right? Off of 161. When IKEA came, I mean, that whole area has blown up. And so now we are like one of the first participants to be in their new convention center and their Hilton Hotels facility. So we got to tour it. It's going to be amazing. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
And it's right there in the midst of restaurants. Y'all know where Chicken Pickle is.
We got pickleball courts right there for you people that are just jumping on this pickleball craze. We got pizza spots. We got steak spots. We got taco spots. I mean, we're going to be providing lunch and dinner anyway, but still, you can come on out. You're going to be able to enjoy the sessions that we have going. Vendors are already signing up. It is going to be another power-packed event.
And we're going to have a discounted rate for the hotel if you guys want to stay the night and hang out.
Yeah.
So all those details are going to be forthcoming.
Maybe we can all do breakfast that next morning. That'd be cool for those that stay over. We just grab breakfast in the morning. Before the day gets started.
So many ideas.
It's a lot of stuff we can do. It's a lot of, they're going to be there. They're going to be there. We might as well have some fun, kick it like a family. But there's a lot of things for you adventurous people that like to rock climb and do all that. They got Boulder City that is literally right down the street. Well, it's going to be too cold for it. But what are you trying to freeze?
March the 22nd is not
It's going to be still kind of cold.
The whole point is you're talking about Epic.
You know what? You're just cold. You're not for the people. You know,
I'm always for the people.
Just like an anchor. Just show up, just disruptive.
I'm always for the people.
But there's some thing going on. I wish they would have the golf thing already built, but they got a Top Golf.
And Andretti's is right around the corner.
Ooh, Andretti's might be done.
Yeah. There's a lot of good
anyway,
stuff
there's a lot. I've been stuck in my since the what?
What, Marion, you're not here?
Marion is well since
That's the summit.
All right, we got you. Right. So save the date. We want to see everybody there.
Y'all, you don't understand how much it takes a lot to put these things together, but the kind of content that is there. We're gonna have some CE training. We're gonna have lots of different things during the day to help us grow our business and expand. So y'all, we want you to sign up early so that we can get a really clear RSVP number. And of course, your significant other coming to the award ceremony. It's just going to be a time to celebrate and have some fun.
It is going to be a great event. Shonda says she's coming. I know Amina coming. Amina's like, come on, Houston. Let's go, Houston.
Let's go, Houston.
Let's go, Houston.
Yeah.
Y'all get on that bond lane and get on down here. But that's that luxury bus. Come on, get on down here. But for real, save the date, March the 22nd. You're going to be getting more information here in a few days. You're going to be able to go ahead and register early for a discounted price as well. So not just
what?
not just the hotels, but registration will be discounted for you as well if you get in early. Now, if you missed the date, don't be texting and calling up here talking about can I still get the discount? No. So we gonna give you time
to get it
in early so you can take advantage of the discount.
Do y'all have a payment plan? Inquiring minds wanted to know.
Okay, listen, people. Listen, people.
Tanae almost came over and jumped on me, y'all. Wow.
I know Tanae back in the background. She's like, what? Somebody tell me no afterpay. No afterpay.
None of that.
Right. But listen, $100. I think that's what we're rocking. Ain't we rocking $100 early registration? Today, all right?
And they can invite their friends from other agencies.
Oh,
that's right.
For $120.
That's right.
Part of this education.
For $20 extra?
For $20 extra, invite somebody outside the brokerage.
Whoa, that's right?
So
steal.
Come out and get the sessions for yourself. Invite somebody outside the brokerage that wants to attend and get some learnings. Maybe they're interested in TD Realty. Maybe they're trying to figure out what we're doing over here. Is it real over here? So invite them out as well.
Does that cover just the summit or the awards as
that's
well?
going to be the summit and the awards. That is going to include, well, not if you're not a part of the brokerage. So if you're not a part of the brokerage, the banquet, right? Okay. But the summit, absolutely. But you want to come on out. That's going to include your lunch and your dinner.
What if I have a significant other? For
$50.
Okay,
it's going to be $50, just like last year.
Wonderful.
Right? $50. Come on out.
What a steal!
Come on out, dancing, awards. We're gonna have me hosting.
I'm sorry, y'all.
No, I'm not gonna be the host.
No,
we probably need another host. All right, maybe I'll do the DJ. I'll be the DJ.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess I'm just gonna be there in attendance. But we want you all to come on out, come on and participate. It is very important. Participation is important.
Especially for this particular event. We get to do it once a year.
Yeah.
It's a time for all of us to come together. And it's a big miss when we don't see you, and you're missing such great content. And I think this year with the additional incremental CE training, it's going to be really an addition. And all the vendor partners being there is such a huge
lot
plus.
Of vendor partners are going to be there. And this facility is absolutely beautiful, right? So if you came last year
and it was really nice
and you enjoyed it, you're going to enjoy this facility as well.
And parking's free this year.
And parking is free. Listen, y'all, parking on site is free. They have above ground parking. They even got garage parking.
Yeah.
Right. So you can park underground if you want to park your car that you just got your car detailed, but you want everybody to see it when you pull up, but you don't want to get dirty when it's sitting out there. Is that just me? Okay, no. All right, so the garage parking is available and it's all on site. It is all on site. Nice. So you're going to really be very happy for those of you that are flying in. It's probably like 15 minutes from the airport.
Yes, we're still accepting vendors. Thank you.
Yes, we are still accepting vendors. Vendor info packets are going out this week. Yep, this week. So more information to come, but save the date, March 22nd, Summit and Awards Banquet. For those of you that know you get an award, we need you to show up to get your award.
That'd be nice.
Right? For those of you that are not sure, show up. For those of you that know you're not getting an award, show up. Right? And start planning for 2024. There are opportunities out there for you. So it's going to be an amazing time. So save the date. Save the date.
Friday, March the 22nd.
Friday, March the 22nd. Put it on your calendar. Invite your friends. Tell your hubby. Tell your wife. Tell your significant other. Tell your boo thing that we going to this event. I don't know. People got boo things.
Focus, man.
You trying to say they got no boo things? They got boo things out there. Everybody ain't saved at this broker. All right, so we listen. If you're brand new, you just got to forgive Tanika. We just praying for her. We just praying for her. All right. What is going on with training this week? Since Cassie's not here, I will go over the training schedule. This week is, I think, really the last week that we're going to have trainings. Let me say, no, we'll have a few things next week. Just a few things as we're getting ready for those Christmas holidays and Christmas shopping.
They're upon us. So
you already know, today we got Monday Morning Mindset. We have the one and the only our boy is going to do script practice. Lincoln is doing script practice right after this. If I can get this calendar up, there we go. At 11 o'clock, script practice At 11 o'clock. Thank you. Look at that. Look at that. Script practice at 11. And then this Wednesday, we have Hone Your Elevator Speech, Zoom only. So Coach Kevin Harris at Providence Edge is doing Hone Your Elevator Speech on Zoom only. So that is this Wednesday. What time is that? Go back.
That that's at
That was at 10 o'clock.
a.m.
10 o'clock. So you know this information is in the training calendar in Workplace. So on the 14th, we have boot camp is coming. So we got two things actually going. We got legal update. That is happening.
It's free.
And that is virtual only. So it is free. So legal update 2, Trek course 42040.
Y'all, that's big for free. Y'all should check that out.
So that's 9 to 1:30. But boot camp is back. Okay, let me say something about boot camp. We got 52 plus joining on here this morning alone. And I think right now we have about 4 or 5 people registered for this boot camp. If you haven't taken boot camp, there is room to jump on this week, Thursday and Friday, to boot camp. Now, it is here, it is live, but we want to see your face in the place. We provide breakfast and lunch, but that contracts training, if we could tell you all, if we could like rip the veil open,
yes,
and show you the number of challenges that people have with their contracts,
y'all,
it would blow your
your
mind. It would blow your mind.
I sometimes like to read, not that I like to, but sometimes I read the disciplinary things that Trek puts out. I don't know if you guys have ever read that. I'm gonna start doing some videos on that, FYI. But the little things that people are doing, not amending things, not updating a contract, leaving things off. Y'all need to be thanking Latrice and compliance, because these things are true Trek violations that you can be brought upon you, jeopardizing your license, causing you to be fined, and really jeopardizing your whole existence for being in real estate. So it starts all with understanding your contract. So I would highly recommend anybody who has not had a chance to join me for contracts training, where we just kind of go not line by line, but we take our time, we share experiences, and it really is a good opportunity for you guys to say, ooh, I haven't had one person that attended that didn't say, I didn't know that, or this was good, or this was an aha moment for me. So y'all, if you haven't and you got some availability, come join us, sign up. We would love to have you.
Yeah. And then Friday, we do our business coaching session, our business training session. And so we talk about organizing your business. We talk about financial strategies. We talk about the difference between just running an ad and creating marketing plans and how to do that. What does successful look like? What does a successful day potentially look like? So if you haven't done the boot camp, come on and join us. If you still want to attend, just email or text Cassie. And so there's room available. We need a head count so that we can feed you good, but we want to see you in the place. Education is important.
It's key. I think that's been one of my keys to success and longevity. And next year I'm going to celebrate 10 years in real estate, which is really astounding to me.
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm a sponge and I continuously am learning. I want to be the best at whatever I'm doing, and being the best means I'm constantly learning. I am never have a I know it attitude. You guys stump me sometimes with some of your questions, and I love it because it stretches us all. So if you are that kind of individual and you want to have longevity in real estate, I suggest you take and seize every opportunity to grow and learn, and just your bandwidth should be expanded.
Yeah.
I really should.
One of the things that people, when we're talking to them on recruiting and they're thinking about joining us, and just a reminder, there's a lot of people moving brokerages right now. So if you know somebody that's looking to move, definitely send them our way. We do all the heavy lifting, but we still giving the $200 referral. So all this growth that you've been seeing has been because of you all.
So thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. It has been because of you all sharing, telling, talking about the brokerage that people have been growing. But a lot of people who join, one of their first questions is, what sort of trainings do you have? Right.
What kind of
what do you do?
Right.
What sort of trainings do you do? What do you offer as far as support in learning and growing? And then it's amazing how little people actually take advantage of it.
It's heartbreaking, to be honest with you, because that's one of the, when we were sitting down doing our business plan and we were talking about our mission and what we wanted to do when we had a brokerage, it was to provide exceptional training and opportunities for business owners to be true entrepreneurs in the sense of they understand every facet of the business. So all of the training and things that we do are in preparation for that, whether it's to be a better agent or to be a better entrepreneur business owner. And it's unfortunate these classes are not filled up. That's why we have this space. But you know, we can't make you're not employees. We can't make you do something. You have to want to do it.
Yeah, facts. So join us if you have time on your calendar, then we have time to teach you. So reach out to Cassie and join us this Thursday and Friday at the boot camp. But it's okay if we get 4 or 5, we're gonna teach the 4 or 5.
That's
right?
what we do.
It is about making sure that we do what we're supposed to be doing. God will do what He's going to do, and then the blessing happens, right?
All the time.
Many times we're trying to manipulate the system. We're trying to wait to see the sign before we move in faith, right? We want God to show us the outcome before we have any skin in the game.
That's not a faith walk.
Right?
Yeah.
That's not how that works. As you're building this business, it would be great to have the crystal ball.
Ooh,
right?
it would be
That said,
wonderful.
year 1, this is going to happen. Year 2, this is going to happen. Year 3 is that would be wonderful,
It would
right?
be phenomenal.
And it would be absolutely wonderful if, when with that crystal ball, we could just skip all the stress.
Wouldn't it?
We can skip all the drama. We can skip all the disappointment. We can skip all the wrong turns and spending too much money and doing. It would be great if we can skip all of the negative parts of success, right? Then and get right to the fun parts.
I was talking, I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
talking
good.
to an agent the other day, and it was an issue that came up. And I just reminded them, I said, hey, listen, without issues, how can you grow? How can you learn? If every transaction was easy and seamless, you would not be stretched. You would not grow. You would not have any desire to do anything more than you already know. You wouldn't have nuggets to pass on to somebody else or for the next transaction. You have to go through things.
Right.
And so I don't get scared or frazzled when I have challenges. I look at it as an opportunity, because it actually is. Because if I can be the solutions to somebody's problem, particularly in the field of real estate, I win. Because they're going to seek me. They're going to seek my advice. And so you want to know how to handle obstacles and situations when they pop up. I'm like, I get excited about it, because if I can handle it, and if I can, form a way for somebody else to get to the finish line, I promise you it's going to be beneficial the next time it happens. I'll know exactly what to do. I'll know exactly how to handle it. And I can help mentor and teach other agents to do the same. So don't look at these situations as just boo-hoo, this is terrible. Look at it as, you know what, this is stretching me. This is growing me. This is making me better. Because we all we should be hopefully striving to do better, and everything that we do better in this transaction than we were in the last.
Yeah, a lot of times we think that we'll wait to learn, and what I mean by that is when I get certain things in order, right, then I will take on the challenge of learning. Right. But the reality is, it all coincides. It goes together,
hand in hand.
Right. So you're gonna face difficulties and challenges, and you're gonna learn through them.
Right.
But there's some things in some classes, some opportunities you can take to learn while you're waiting, right? But all along this journey, you have to make sure that you're putting yourself in the best position to be the best you can be. And there's something, there's one thing, and I've said this before, that no one can take from you, and it's what you know. No one can take your knowledge from you. Because in your knowledge, if you combine that knowledge, which is information, with wisdom, which is how and when to activate what, right? Then you become extremely powerful as you're building. But don't be afraid to fail. Right? Because they say, well, you never fail. You only keep pushing forward. You find out what doesn't work. That's fine. How we want to spin it. Don't be afraid to move forward, but you gotta walk forward in faith.
You have to.
But with a plan.
I agree.
Okay. You got to walk forward in faith, but what they plan,
Mhm.
right? So we're going to talk a little bit of NAR. And what I want y'all to do, I'm going to set some things up. We're going to have an open discussion. If you have questions about the doggone lawsuits that have been filed, if you have questions about the lawsuit that was won by the plaintiffs, let's talk about it. Stop getting your information from unknown sources. Let's just put it like that, because everybody is putting a little spin on things and they're giving their opinions. And yeah, I'm going to give my opinion a little bit, but I'm going to try to stay with reality. Okay. So if you have questions about NAR and what's going on, or if you don't know what's going on, drop it in the chat so that you can get your questions answered.
So give us an overview. Give us an overview of the NAR lawsuit. What is it? Why did it come up, and why should we be concerned?
Wait, let me turn this off, because you got a panel that you're gonna speak on.
I know.
You're gonna speak on regarding NAR in a little bit.
Yeah, that's sometime in January.
Yeah, it's coming though. Right. So here's what happened. There were a group of sellers who felt like that they were not represented well.
Okay.
They felt like there was a monopoly going on where NAR and a lot of major brokerages and MLSs conspired to keep pricing or commission pricing payouts at a specific level. Okay. That 6% is what
colluded together.
Yeah, there was a collusion going on, right? And so they brought a civil case. It was about money.
It's always about money.
Let's be weird. Yeah. It was not about changing policy. Okay. This case was about money.
Okay.
All right. And so they brought the case, and they brought the case before the court, and the courts heard the case. And to be quite honest, in my opinion, NAR, KW, some of the other larger brokerages, lawyers did a horrible job of presenting the facts. But I think there's a reason behind that. Right. I think there was a reason behind why they didn't go all in. But so they lost. They lost a lot of money. Right. And then people started freaking, because people then started thinking, oh my gosh, this means that there no longer be buyers representing sellers. This means that the only way we can get paid is by the buyers. People started losing their mind of all of the things that could be, right? Because the sellers said, why are we paying buyers commissions? Okay. Well, first of all, buyers agents commissions. First of all, they said that because that's how agents have been presenting it incorrectly, right? That's never been the case. You do realize that you do not get paid directly from your client. You have a contract that houses the agreement, but it's really between broker and broker. And the broker gets paid, and then you have an agreement with the broker on how much you're going to get paid.
Right.
It is not a direct pay through. So when we say the seller pays me, that's actually not true. Even when we say the buyer pays me, that's really not true either. There's a contract that is put in place, but the contract is between the brokerage and the client. And then the broker turns around and pays you the agreed upon compensation that you signed up with. Okay. That's just all contractual lingo, but it matters because wording got us into this scenario.
In the first place.
The way we were presenting compensation pieces, and we were doing it in a lazy way because most of us don't know how to negotiate deals. So we take easy routes instead of having what we think are difficult conversations. Okay. So we got to this point, but let's back up a minute, because for those of you thinking, well, then this means now all of a sudden that either we won't get paid, right? Or we're going to get paid less, right? All these different scenarios.
Yeah.
So before we talk about that, let's back up for a minute.
Okay.
And remember how we got to today's world.
Let's give a little history, please.
So we know NAR, National Association of Realtors, right? We know that we're all forced into the NAR world right now when you join an association, because all of your fees go to not just your local, it goes to your national and your state association dues, right? So you
Right.
are officially part of NAR. You can call yourself a realtor. We're not going
Correct.
to dig into that, right?
Mhm.
But back in the day,
Mhm.
before there was the MLS,
Okay.
every brokerage would have a listing,
Okay.
okay? And every brokerage would be responsible for their own listing.
Mm-hmm.
There were no joint
Joint.
co-ops at all,
Okay.
right? So if brokerage A had listing, then you would have to go to brokerage A
Mm-hmm. Look at
to
their
talk to that
listings.
listing
Mhm.
agent,
Mhm.
and that listing agent represented that listing only.
Okay.
Okay. And then if you brokerage B had a listing, you have to go to brokerage B,
Mm-hmm.
talk to the agent who had that listing and that listing only,
Okay.
right? There's a lot of moving partners, but it was very disconnected.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
So in 1960,
Okay.
NAR decides we need to create the MLS system. Okay.
NAR decides that.
NAR decides we
Okay.
need to create this MLS system where all these brokers can have one place to bring their listings together,
Mm-hmm.
right? So NAR creates in 1960 the MLS system. And so now a book is created.
Okay.
So every brokerage would need to submit their information about their listing. A book is created and printed.
That has
and
everybody's
it's,
together.
right. And it's given to the brokerages
Mhm.
that are part of the MLS.
Mhm.
Okay. So now a client still has to go to a brokerage, but when they go to a brokerage and they meet an agent, now
Got a book.
there's a book.
Okay.
And this agent can take them around and show them the listings in the area, right?
Right.
Okay. So then they're doing this, but there are other agents that are popping up and they're like, well, we don't have listings.
We
What
don't
do
have
we
the book.
do?
Yeah.
And we're part of the brokerage. So what do we do?
Okay.
So sub agency was created. So now we got the book of business and we have the listing agent and we have other agents who are part of the brokerage or in a brokerage.
Right.
And so client walks in, you meet them. Okay, great. Yes, I can show you house A, B, C, and D. Right. Wonderful. And they're showing them these houses, but there's one problem. If you know contracts, you know sub agency. And buyers were thinking they were being represented, but they were not, because in sub agency, the listing, the seller basically had representation from two agents. So the agent who was showing the buyers these houses was not working for the buyer. He or she had a fiduciary responsibility to not disclose anything that would hurt the seller because they were a sub-agent of the seller.
Correct.
Right? Okay. So the buyer has no representation at all. Nope. And then there's a whole issue with that going on, and people are complaining, and most of us are way too young to realize all the challenges that was happening and all the complaints that was going. And guess what happens in 1990?
1990.
Buyer agency is created. Yeah.
What? They weren't even on board. Okay.
They wasn't even alive. Some of us was alive. I was alive.
Yeah, we were here.
We was graduating.
Yeah. Anyway.
But 1990, buyer agency is created because there was too many complaints and challenges legally on who is representing the buyer's interest.
Okay.
And in that creation of buyer's agency, there was the wording that basically said brokerages will offer compensation to procured agent at least $1.
At least $1.
It was always open.
Okay. Open.
It was always
negotiable.
Open. It was, and it's always been negotiable.
And it still is.
Right. It has never been non-negotiable. Right.
Right.
But buyer agency is created, and they just took what has been already given, because in sub agency they were already offering each other compensation. Right. The brokerages were already saying, sub agent, if your buyer procures this house, you get X. We are willing to split our commission piece with you.
Because you brought the buyer.
Because you brought the buyer. Not that I negotiated this for you, but I told the seller what I would charge. And in my charging 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%, 2%, whatever it is, I will then turn around and pay a portion of what I'm going to charge you
To whoever procures the buyer.
Exactly. All right. So we got buyer's agency, 1990. Boom, we're moving forward. Right.
Okay, got it.
Well, along this journey, remember, MLS data and information was never public.
Mm.
So the only people who could get behind the MLS veil were agents. The only people that knew all of the properties that were available were agents.
Okay.
But MLS has got greedy. And here comes Zillow, and here comes Realtor.com, and here come all this money.
Mhm.
And they're like, hey, can we play? Can we pay you for access to the data so that we can now give it out to the masses, to the public? And the MLS says, yeah, thank you for the money. We will take it. Right.
Mm-mm.
And now the basic housing information is out on the internet.
Mm.
And now consumers could look and see houses, and they can see values, and they can see all these things.
Yeah.
And as agents are now growing in numbers,
Yeah.
they're reducing in education.
Mm.
They are not understanding contracts. They're not understanding how they're written. They're not understanding how compensation is flowing.
Mhm.
They're just seeing dollar signs.
Mm.
And they're having conversations, big money conversations with very small mindedness.
Mhm. Mhm.
And they're saying things, you don't pay me. They're saying things, the seller pays me,
Mm.
right? And so then eventually in this lawsuit world,
Which you know.
and
what
in the
happened.
diminishing representation, quality representation that
Mm.
buyers and sellers are feeling like they're receiving,
Mhm.
because now I'm hiring you, but what are you really doing? Because I can't see you doing anything.
Mhm.
Then why do I need you? Because I can search the internet, I can do all this stuff, right? Well, we know why they need you, because it's all the unforeseen things that happen in a transaction
Yep.
that AI cannot fix,
Mhm.
right? So
Mhm.
anyway, so that's what we got. That's how we got to where we are today,
Mhm.
right? We went from early on, it was a book, then it was sub-agency, then buyer agency is created,
Mhm.
then technology comes in and access is open, and then we have agents who are not really learning this business as a craft,
Mm.
and they use it as a money grab.
Mm.
And so now you're getting poor representation
Mm-mm.
at a fee. And somewhere in there, we land at 6% as industry standard. And that was a big issue in the lawsuit, where they were saying the collusion
Mhm.
was that these brokerages and the MLS were colluding to keep it at 6%,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
That there was no ability to
To
negotiate the fee. The sellers had no ability to negotiate the fee.
That's what the lawsuit's about.
Yes, which we know is not true.
Correct.
We know there's brokerages that are flat fee brokerages
Yeah.
that'll charge 100, 300, 400 a transaction. We
Mhm.
know there are agents that will do that,
Mhm.
right? We know it's not true, but it wasn't about proving it right or wrong. It was about getting the money.
Mm.
And so that was the case,
Mhm.
right? And they lost the case. They did a horrible job in defending it, but that just means they were going to appeal it.
Of course.
Ultimately, it's getting to the Supreme Court,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So they knew it was going to be an appeal process.
Yeah.
So after they won that case, boop, multiple cases pop up. Some with the same lawyer that won that, some with some other lawyers. And guess what other cases pop up?
What?
Buyers now.
Uh-oh.
Buyers now are saying that they didn't have the chance to negotiate on their own behalf a better rate. So now they got a class action. I said civil before, I think. They have a class action lawsuit, right? Saying, hey, guess what? We want money too. We want money too.
Mhm.
And so now agents are thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen?
This is a mess.
Because there's already been a few cases here that the sellers have said, we ain't paying a buyer's agent.
Mhm.
We're not going to pay a buyer's agent. We're paying our agent, and we're not paying the buyer's agent,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And where does that leave the industry? In my opinion, it leaves it in a great position.
What?
100%.
Why do you say
It
great?
leaves
Now
it in
that's a stretch.
great-
Why do you say
a
great?
great position.
Break that down for everybody.
Absolutely.
Because everybody's like, what?
So let's take worst case scenario.
Okay, what's worst case?
Worst case scenario, all sellers decide they are not gonna pay buyers brokerages. They
No
just
more.
all across the board
Mm-mm.
zero. So when you have that conversation in your listing conversation
Mhm.
and you say, hey, my standard fee is X, and you have the option, which you always had, to offer compensation on the buying, the procuring agent brokerage side,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And they may ask, well, what is normal? And we may say, well, normal is 3%. Let me before I go there, no, let me read that point. The people will take issue of a 6%. They in the lawsuit there was, then why is it 6%? That's collusion because everybody's saying 6%. Everybody's saying 6%. Common sense will tell you though that industry standard exists in every industry,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Okay, so think medical.
Yep.
All right. So insurance companies come in and they negotiate rates.
They do.
And usually these insurance companies all have about the same rates with these hospitals,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Because guess what they're basing it off of? Industry standard,
Mhm.
right? Lawyers have fees, right? And the lawyers typically have some of the same fees in there, give or
Per
take a little
hour,
bit,
yeah.
unless you're just super high class lawyer,
Mhm.
And guess what it's based off of? Industry
standards.
standard,
Mhm.
right? You don't go to a car wash and car wash A is $10, $15, $20, $30, and car wash B a mile down is $80, $90, $100. Then guess what they're all doing?
Yeah.
They're falling in industry standard rates
Mhm.
because we are anticipating what it should cost to do a thing,
Correct.
right?
Mhm.
So all of a sudden, industry standard is under attack in real estate.
Mm.
That makes sense, does it?
Mm-mm.
Because it's not about industry standard.
What
It's
is it
about the money.
Mm.
So the common sense doesn't matter.
Mhm.
The money matters.
Okay.
When you get to a certain level, the common sense will kick in,
Mhm.
which is why we're going to have all these appeals.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Mhm.
so don't get freaked out about industry standard. Every industry has a standard,
Mhm.
period. Okay. So then we move forward.
Okay.
So we got the reason I say it's going to be great. So worst case, all sellers say, forget it.
Mhm.
We ain't doing it. Well, then some things have to change
Like what?
because buyer agency cannot go away.
Mm-mm.
The government don't want it to go backwards.
Mhm. Mhm.
Non-representation is not going to work,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So buyers will then have to, in some sort of way, agree to a compensation for the brokerage.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
So then what has to happen is some of these loan products also have to change
Mm.
because what we're going to have to start doing, potentially worst case scenario,
Worst case.
is if buyer has to pay the brokerage,
Yeah.
then either you lump sum cash it
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
you roll it into the mortgage,
Mm.
right? So now for those type of loan products that cannot be rolled in,
Mm.
adjustments going to have to be made,
Yeah.
right?
Okay.
For those type of entities like the VA product
Mhm.
that cannot pay,
Mm.
adjustments have to be made,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Now that FHA buyer or whoever who's right up on their number,
Mhm.
adjustments have to be made,
Mhm.
right? Because they still need representation
Mhm.
and that agent still needs to be paid, right?
Mhm.
Oh, and guess what else has to be adjusted?
What?
The seller's mindset.
Yeah.
Because here's what conversation now has to shift to.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Seller, no, you do not have to offer any form of compensation.
Mhm.
However, understand that the buyer's agent is also not limited to ask what they want to ask.
Mhm.
So guess what? Your house been on the market for 45, 60 days.
Yeah.
You really want to sell it? It's 4%.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's 4.5%.
Mhm.
Oh no, whatever you paid your agent, that's your problem.
For this
Right.
one, for this buyer,
But for this,
yeah.
my rate is 4.5%. And now
Mm.
you are negotiating
Mm.
your rate. See, they have to now open it up,
Mhm.
right? They have to now open up the negotiation
Mhm.
because guess what? You're bringing a piece of this party. It's always been a negotiation, but it's been sort of fair in
Mhm.
that nobody's outdoing anybody.
Anybody else, and you know the cost going in per se.
Right.
Mhm.
Now, wide open, right? So worst case scenario, fine seller, don't offer nothing.
Mhm.
Cool. Then what we now get to do is negotiate the rate we want. So other factors start coming into play.
Mhm.
How long you been on the market?
Mhm.
And then if it comes back to, well, I can't afford to pay you and my agent, guess what? That's a you problem. Cut your agent's rate. Don't pay him as much. Go back and negotiate with your agent. So maybe you can't afford to pay them 3%. Now you pay them 1.5. Give me my 4.5.
Mm.
It opens up. If it gets down to
Sure.
where we're getting to this, I'm not paying nothing,
Mhm.
that doesn't mean you don't get paid anything.
Mhm.
It just means that your conversation with your buyers changes. In scenario A, buyer,
Mhm.
typically the seller may offer a compensation to our brokerage.
Mhm.
And if that happens, that's how I'll get paid because my broker will then pay me my piece.
Mhm.
If they don't offer anything,
Mhm.
we're going to have two basic options.
Mhm.
Option number one would be for me to go in and negotiate my rate into the price of this house. That may bring the price up. So they may be 400,000. My rate may be 3%. So now it's 412,000. You rolling that into the loan,
Mhm.
which the industry would have to change the rules and allow for that. Okay.
Mhm.
Or option number three,
Mhm.
we go in, the house is 400,000. My rate is 3%. So now we're going to put offer 388,000 plus my 12,000. Now it's 400,000. Either way it goes, you're getting your money.
Mhm.
I hope y'all following. I don't know if we had any questions. People got quiet in the chat. I ain't seen not one question pop in the chat, right? Create commission options and negotiate based on value proposition. Absolutely, right? So don't fear the changing of the guard.
Mhm.
It just means you have to start learning how to negotiate.
Mhm.
And it doesn't mean a negative for you. Now, what happens on the other end? The good agents
Mhm.
are going to understand that I'm on the sell side today, I'm on the buy side tomorrow.
No doubt.
So they're going to direct
Mhm.
their clients, hey, it may be better
Mhm.
for you to control the compensation amount by offering what you're comfortable with giving up.
Mhm.
Up to you, but understand that when you offer nothing, it doesn't mean you don't pay anything.
Correct.
Right. And there's the misnomer.
Mhm.
We think that because they say they can offer nothing, that they don't have to pay nothing. That's not true.
Mhm.
It just means that they're coming to the table saying, we're not paying anything. And you're coming to the table saying, I want 3%. So now we're negotiating. In New York has already passed a law, at least one of the associations in New York has passed a rule, not a law, that said the buyer, the seller's agent cannot negotiate on behalf of the sellers, but the buyer's agent can negotiate directly with the seller.
Mm.
What kind of mess is that? So I can skip the sales agent and directly negotiate with the seller. Okay.
In New York, why do they need a listing agent then?
Because they still got to list it.
It's
They
weird.
still got to get it sold, right? But
Yeah.
think about it.
Yeah.
Think about how wonderful that world is. I can go directly to the seller and negotiate my own rate. How bad you want to sell this house? Right? Now, do they really want that?
I doubt it.
They really don't.
Mm-mm.
But this wasn't about changing the rules. This was about money. Now, that doesn't mean that rules won't change.
Correct.
Because what companies don't want to do is be paying out billions of dollars for lawsuits.
Right.
So what will probably change is wording,
Correct.
how we present the case.
Mhm.
And all of this training, NAR will probably issue out something. I mean, they're a hot mess right now, but NAR will probably issue out some sort of directive
Mhm.
on how to negotiate and have the conversation,
Mhm.
because the wording needs to change. You know what else needs to change? The doggone closing disclosure
Mhm.
that
Mhm.
says seller pays,
Mhm.
and then it has that whole lump sum,
Mhm.
right? It really needs to break out, and it's like seller pays this to this brokerage and to this. It
Yeah.
needs to break out differently,
Yeah.
because it's not actually honestly showing what's happening.
Correct. Mhm.
So there's a lot of things that have to adjust and change. But what I want you to realize is, one, change is not bad. Two, understand the history. Buyer agency is not going away. Nobody, including the federal government, wants buyer's agency to go away. And just because industry standard
Mhm.
is under attack,
Mhm.
and some people will run scared, and there will be some agents who think they're slick, and they will think that they have an advantage
Mhm.
of being able to still charge 4, 5, 6%, but then offer you 0,
Mhm.
because NAR did change the rule.
Mhm.
So now it's no longer that you have to offer $1 compensation. It's you don't have to offer anything.
Mm.
So there will be some agents who want to play that game,
Yeah.
right?
Unfortunately.
And offer you 0. But it does not mean, and I don't want you to freak out, it does not mean you can't get paid off of this deal, because what it means is you can now negotiate it. All right. The only one talking is Nikki. Thank you, Nikki. Everybody's quiet. They're like,
Oh,
they're quiet.
Lord.
So if you have questions, put it in the chat. This is the time. Don't be getting on social media, asking all these other people these questions. This is the time to ask some questions. This is not the last time we're going to talk about
Of
it,
course it's not,
right?
because it's ongoing.
It is ongoing. There's lawsuits popping up everywhere.
But we just want to give you more clarity, because a lot of times you don't have it and you're going on assumptions, just like a lot of times we work with buyers who are concerned about the interest rates, but we all know people are still buying and selling houses in this market. So we just want you to have all the little nuggets so that you can glean from here, glean from there. But here's where TDR stands. Here's what we are understanding about the lawsuit. Here's what we're thinking. It's not doom and gloom.
No, it's far from it.
Mhm.
Now, if you don't learn how to negotiate,
No, that's the problem.
if you don't learn how to have real conversations, if you don't do script practice,
I was gonna say you need to go to script practice
and learn how to say what when.
Mm-hmm.
And the reality is, script practice, in my opinion, isn't so much of what to say. It is how to say it, and it's the ability to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you listen without trying to figure out what you want to say, I mean, actively listen to what someone is saying to you and process that information, then you will figure out where you need to go with the conversation and what questions you need to ask. But a lot of times we enter into these deals just thinking about what we want.
Yeah.
One of the things that I used to do in corporate, and I know you did these same things, so you wouldn't have been successful as you was. One of the things that I would used to do in corporate, before I took a meeting, I stepped on the other side of the table. And what I mean is, I would think about from the other person's perspective. What are they gonna want? What could they potentially ask for? What are their motives? What are their driving factors? And then I would work through that. I would write them down. I would work through it. And then I would say, well, what would my counter be if this? What would I do if they said that? And I would already have played it out in my mind, the potentials of where this could go.
Yes.
So when I got into this meeting, it wasn't my first time sitting in this chair.
Correct.
I wasn't nervous. I wasn't unsure.
Nope.
If they threw something, I had thought through it. Was there sometimes they hit you with something you didn't think? Absolutely. But if you go into these conversations prepared,
Correct,
if you go into the script practice and you're listening, actively listening, and you're talking to people, you're going to be in a position that when you need to negotiate, you won't negotiate out of fear. You won't negotiate out of, oh my God, I need this deal. If I can't get, you will go in understanding the strength in the position you have. And if this went all the way to hell in the handbasket and every seller decided that they was not offering nothing, okay, awesome. That doesn't mean
alert from low battery
that you cannot negotiate. That doesn't mean that you cannot still get your deals done. That doesn't mean any of that stuff. You still in a strong position to win.
Yeah.
What you think about that?
I agree. I agree with everything that you've said. It really puts me in when I think about when I'm going on a listing appointment and I tell the seller, I'm going to enter your home and look at it from a buyer's perspective. And I'm already overcoming in my mind the hurdles of your carpet's jacked up, your paint, I've already got my situation, I've already maintained like, this is what I have to overcome in this situation. I kind of put it in the mindset of that. When you know what you're up against, you can be better prepared for when it's time to go. And as it relates to how you go in and you conduct a listing appointment, you don't just tell them, this is what I traditionally charge. You tell them why you're charging this. I provide these types of services that are inclusive of X, Y, and Z. Hence, my commission is typically 3%. So, or how you got to understand what you're offering and be able to present that.
Right.
So those are my takeaways.
And you continue to offer the suggestion. You don't say, set rate is.
No.
Right.
No.
They may ask, what have I seen? What is industry standard? And you say, well, usually I'm 3% here. And what we typically see is somewhere like 3% to the procuring agent side. Yes. Right. And that's real. Because guess what? You could be the procuring agent.
Yeah.
Right.
You could be.
You could be the one that brought the buyer. And buyers are confused oftentimes and thinking if they go directly to the listing agent, then that means that 6% or whatever that fee is going to be reduced. And that is not true.
Yeah, that's not true.
They could,
but it's not guaranteed.
It's not contractual unless it's written in there that if thus and such happens, if I'm on both sides and I'll take this reduction, And
you can write that in the contract.
And you can write that in the contract. But if it's not, that whole amount is still due
to the broker.
Facts. So don't let fear rule your day. Don't think that buyer's agents are no longer going to be needed. Don't think that you're no longer going to get paid, or all of a sudden you're going to get paid less. You know what's going to happen, the way you'll get paid less? If you don't know how to negotiate. If you do not know how to negotiate, then you'll take anything that's given to you. But if you learn how to negotiate, when it comes down to it, you'll still be in a great position. What?
No, I was going to say, listen, there are some instances where you will reduce I've reduced my commission many times. So I'm like, because
wait a minute, I didn't say that. I didn't say that they won't have reduction.
Because of
I said negotiation.
Yes.
Yeah. See, she's trying to come in.
No, I didn't want them to take it as in I'm not a good negotiator if I don't get 3%, because I disagree with that.
I didn't say that. Did I say that? See, listening. I did not say if you don't get 3%, you're not a good negotiator. I did not say. I said if you get less money because you don't know how to negotiate, then no, you're not a good negotiator. Right? If you get less because you don't know how, it's different from taking a reduction because you're giving whatever, or that's how you negotiate it out, right? That's totally different. What did Alejandro put in there? 11 being the buyer's rep, yeah. Source of commission payment, broker will seek to obtain payment, yeah. 11A first from the seller, landlord, agent, such person refused, blah, blah, blah. So don't freak out about this verbiage. Alejandro just put it in here. It's been in there.
Yeah.
It has always been in there. And all that means is you can negotiate.
That's it.
That's all that means. And you've always had the ability to do it. And it's always been fluctuating.
Yeah, you will continue to have that ability.
Absolutely. So yeah, don't take it like if you don't get 3%, you're not a good negotiator, right? But if you don't know how to negotiate, then you're not a good negotiator. All right, y'all. We up on that hour. Save the date, and be watching Workplace because we about to drop the first episode of the pod. Actually, it's out there. The first episode of the Real T podcast is out. So we want you guys to follow the TD Realty
TX.
YouTube page.
Yep.
Follow the TD Realty Instagram page and the TD Realty Facebook page. I'm gonna push it all to you. But follow the Real T podcast. Let us know what you think. We are highlighting agents.
Yes, I'm
on
so
the Real T
excited.
podcast.
Yes.
So it's not just going to be business owners that are popping up.
Well, you guys are business owners.
Yes, yeah,
He didn't
facts.
mean it
Sorry,
that way.
I didn't
He
mean it that way.
way.
But there's also agent owners
Yes.
that we're highlighting in our own brokerage.
Yes.
So you're going to get a call pretty soon to be
Mm.
on the Real T podcast.
Can't wait.
Have a great day. Be blessed.
All right. Have an amazing week, y'all.
Tell others and save the date.